Did you know the Hyundai plant in Georgia, 6,000 of the workers so-called quit? I saw videos that the plant that Hyundai sits on, and the reason why those 6,000 workers quit, because the indigenous people claim that land, claim that whole territory. Also, Marvel the comic, you know, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Robin, Wonder Woman, all the artificial superheroes. Well, Marvel is moving out of Georgia and moving to the UK. I wonder why. Why all these countries or companies jumping fence now? Oh, that's right. The indigenous people that came back for their fucking land. If your birth certificate reads black, Negro, colored, African American, etc., and you're indigenous, do you know you have an ironclad lawsuit against the United States under misclassification? You know you can go after the United States for misclassifying you. You can get fucking damages out the yin yang. They already shipped almost 20,000 so-called Native Americans out of this country. They're cleaning off all those reservations. They're taking away their rights. They don't get free land. They don't get free housing. They don't get any money. They cancel all that shit. They took them motherfuckers straight out of here, bruh. They taking them out of here by the fucking boatload, right? That's why you see these so-called Native American Indians, the pretendians. That's why you see them now making TikTok videos about, hey, do you feel bad, or are you ashamed of the dating of Native American woman or Native American man? But my problem is you got illegal people telling illegal people that they can't be here. The only people that should be telling people they can't be here is us, right? See, y'all got to pay attention, man. Nobody came to our rescue. Nobody. Now everybody want to know, oh, when did black women and Latino women start fighting? Now you got these pretendians or Native American Indian women looking to date black men because they know that we the only one can get them to stay here. And hopefully none of my people want you for what you did, because you got our money, you live free off our land, and you made a lot of fucking bread, and then you try to steal our identity. Grab your birth certificate. If your birth certificate says black, Negroes, colored, or African American, you got a golden lawsuit against the United States, because that's misclassification. That's false identifying you as something you're not. In order to have jurisdiction, you have to own the land. If you don't own the land, you don't have jurisdiction. That's facts, right? United States does not own the land known as North America. This land is owned by the indigenous people. So if you don't believe me, there's a case law. Look up the 1848 case, Turner versus the United States. The Supreme Court in 1848, I think it was June 6th, ruled that the United States can never own this land. This land always belonged to the mound builders. So if the United States doesn't own the land, where did we get jurisdiction from? Jurisdiction for the United States does not exist on this land. That's why when y'all go to court, y'all got to have these documents in your hand. So you hand it to the judge. You show it to the judge. The Supreme Court, the highest court on the land, ruled that United States does not have jurisdiction on this land. And no, the birth certificate does not give them jurisdiction. The driver's license does not give them jurisdiction, because those two documents have false information on them. You cannot put false information on a valid document. If your driver's license says black and you're indigenous, that driver's license is fraud. Once you put fraudulent information on a document, fraud voids everything it touches. There's a document out there called Law of the Free Will and Consent, because we are the indigenous people, right? So they did that so they can govern you, right? They did that so they can govern you, which is fraud. You have a lawsuit against them for doing that online, and look up this document. It's called UNDRIP, UNDRIP. Let me spell it again. UNDRIP, right? Okay, it means United Nations Declarations Rights of Indigenous People, right? That's what that word means. Pull up that document. Go to Article 8, 9, and 10 in that document. Okay, so I don't care who it is: Barack Obama, Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris, Democrats, Republicans. You got to stop voting on this land, because you're giving up your freedom and your rights to fall under a government or so-called government that don't give a fuck about you. In 1848, In June 6, 1848, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that the United States can never own this land because this land belongs to the mound builders. Look up this. This is a Supreme Court case law. Barrows, Barrow versus Baltimore mayor and city council, right? The Supreme Court ruled that there's two types of people here on this land. Okay. One is the American people or the American Indians, which is us. The next one is the United States citizen. Okay, and it explains to you that the United States citizens have no rights on this land. So if this land belongs to the indigenous people and the United States have no rights here, why is Jasmine Crockett, Barack Obama, Roland Martin, D.L. Hughley, and all these other motherfuckers telling you to go vote for the United States? Why? You already free. If all these motherfuckers, if they want to see you free, all they got to do is call you indigenous. All they got to tell you is your true identity is the indigenous people. You own the land. When you vote for the United States, you go under their constitution, right? So you fall under their jurisdiction, which means that you don't have any rights. That's why they take away your kids. That's why they kick you out your own house on your own fucking land and make you buy water and pay for power on your own fucking land. That's why the police always pulling you over and giving you tickets. Because you keep going and voting for these motherfuckers to tell you you need a driver's license to travel on your own fucking land. Has anybody ever heard any of these other countries giving out speeding tickets in their land? Because Germany got something called an Autobahn, right? And it's a big freeway and people drive like almost 200 miles an hour on every day. So why don't they get tickets? Why is speeding tickets only here in our country? Bill Gates said it best. Bill Gates said black people are naive and stupid, right? Because we don't pay attention to shit. They use Jasmine Crockett. They use Barack Obama. They use Jesse Jackson. They use the NAACP. They use all these people to help hide our identity. And every day y'all love these people. Well, tell them call you by your true identity. And that's why you're being treated the way you are. Because y'all so far up Jasmine Crockett ass can't see that Jasmine Crockett is the clown face for this system. You're giving up your rights. If these people mean you any good, they can tell you that you are the indigenous one and you own the land. That's how you fight for people's rights. You tell them the truth. All these other countries are kicking the United States or so-called United States people and the American Indians off their land. They're there to help control your black ass and help to keep you away from your American sovereignty and your rights to live as you want to live. That's why you're paying for mortgages. That's why you're paying for power bill, water, cars and stuff like that, because you done gave up your rights to live free.